Welcome to Bahrain, a track that I've not done before, but we're going to be rocking a BMW. Yes, we have purchased pretty much all of the DLC besides the ELMS packs, which is on the to-do list of to-dos. Having a great start off the line, pretty much sealing the deal from our ring behind us and Fenoglio to our right hand side. Now, Fenoglio is a person in this race you need to keep an eye on because we do end up having what started off with a great battle, but from there on it went south quite quickly. But more on that later. Coming around turn 3 out the other side, a little bit slow. We did qualify. I think we got position 12 or 13, something like that. And it wasn't really about setting pace. It was more this race, finding the comfort zone, finding pace, and finding where everybody else is pretty much at. So settling down right now, we're in position 10, right behind the AMG Mercedes up in front, and 1.2 seconds away from Elpu behind us, again in the McLaren. Seems to be the McLaren is one of the strongest choices for this race. Whether that's because it's the better car or because of the Logitech series race has shown actually the McLaren is a pretty good car, I don't know. But position 1 is in a Ford Mustang T01. I've seen them before. They are rather quick drivers, so them being already 6 seconds ahead, it does answer a lot of questions, really, because they are quite quick. I'm not going to lie about that. Now, getting caught up behind this Mercedes here, we need to start making a few places as this race progresses on. Don't want to be finishing on the top 10 or in the top 10. Want to be a bit further up the pecking order and start making a few gains. Take a few more risks than what we usually do, shall we say. With this first lap almost in tow, starting to understand the way this BMW behaves, and behavior is something that we start changing throughout this race because it does like to understeer when you give the front a bit too much work to do, and we combat that by changing a few settings here and there. And there is a Lamborghini facing the wrong direction. Not bad for the end of the first lap. Pretty much Lamborghini doing Lamborghini things. We have lost a little bit of pace from the cars up in front. No harm, no foul. It's all to be claimed back. While the looks of it, those two cars up ahead are going to start battling, which then would slow them down, thus giving us the opportunity to maybe capitalize on a situation such as a double overtake. Is that going to be possible in this race? I don't know, but going off the track certainly is, and thankfully the steward said no harm, no foul. Let's skip ahead to the next interesting moment, and that being our first overtake of the race. While we are in position 9, overtaking the Lamborghini doesn't really count when they're facing the wrong direction in a straight line. But we're going to overtake Fenoglio. I'm going to try and really get this one right. To our left hand side. We're a little bit slow, a little bit funky out that corner there, but we're still behind the Mercedes, and the McLaren behind us is in a very good position to be able to make a slingshot move, and I think they're going to go for a dive bomb here. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, they were close enough to make that said move, and we both respected our boundaries and let them have it, but upon letting them have it, it has given us the opportunity to fight it back, and we can really get into it in turn 1. Now they are trying to move us over a little bit to the right hand side, so I'm going to move them back over to the left, pretty much squeezing as much as I can so I can park it on this apex here, nice and tight, and out to the side and secure position 8. Just need to try and catch up to that Mercedes up in front. Things are about to change, and that being the car behind is 0.3 seconds away. Braking just before the 100 board, quite the lunge, and turning left a little bit resulted in that situation, us having to take evasive action. So this is where I say what started off as a great battle soon deteriorates into dive bomb central and pretty much risking it for the biscuit. Undeterred about said actions from Fenoglio to our left side. I'm going to call him Frodo, it's going to be so much easier. And hopefully they don't take offense from it. But Frodo to our left side brakes quite early. So we brake on point, park it on the apex again, secure that position and make them back off so we can get a better run out of here. Upon better run, we got in the power a little bit too early, which resulted in the understeer that we didn't really want. Now, knowing they're going to dive bomb into this corner, you know what, I'm going to sit in the middle and defend it, keep them to the right hand side, and again, park it on the apex. No harm, no foul, you might say. And it really is no harm, no foul, because they haven't really gone for the slingshot move just yet. But there is time. When there's time, there's a window. And when there's a window, they are going to go through it, opened or closed. It's irrelevant. But right down to first gear here, and you can see the understeer this BMW likes to carry. And you can get kind of caught up in it. Do I accelerate? Do I brake? What do I do? And the car's just like, nah, just don't want to do nothing. We do combat that later on in this race. But down to first gear, tight into there. Again, a little bit of understeer. The front tires are a little bit hot, which is really not optimal for this car. They are behind us. They're in 0.1, 0.2 seconds away of slingshotting. Are we going to go for it now? Ooh, a little bit, almost a kiss on the rear of this car. I'm not too sure if contact was made, but we're still in one piece, and that's what pretty much matters. Nice and tight around this corner, keeping it on as much as we can, down to second gear. A little bit funky through there, and it's because I'm watching the rear view mirror, watching where they're going to be placed, kind of unsure on what their habit is going to be. And right now they're 0.4 seconds away behind us, and we're braking at a total energy sign down to second gear, and look at that, from 0.4 seconds away, launches it up the side and pretty much goes straight through that corner until the final kink and they turn in. And you can see the frustration on my face there from that said maneuver. That one was certainly uncalled for, and I would say really not a right thing to do. But with the funkiness, and probably they're watching the rear view mirror as well, we managed to take the overtake again. And you know what, we're going to really defend in this corner, keep them over to our left hand side, extend our width of this track down to second gear, nice and tight through there. I'm really not going to let them make that comeback, just cut them off ever so slightly. Not egregious, but you know, you got to set your dominance or presence. That's the word I'm looking for. Dominance is probably not the right word. Presence really is, because we really do not want another slingshot move like they did just a minute ago, because that could have ended both of our races. And from 0.4 seconds away at 100 odd miles per hour is quite a time delta. Sadly, it wasn't meant to be, because our driving let us down, and this is where we start making slight changes. We're going to remove a lot of the brake bias to the rear of the vehicle. So we're rocking 50.2 to whatever the other side is. It has really transformed this car, and braking is more of a pleasure than it is anything else. Ooh, track limits again. Flash, steady on. It's so much more controlled, and you can turn in so much better because you're not relying on the front wheels so much. So yeah, if you have the BMW, whack a lot of the brake bias to the rear of the car and you would love it. And it did take us a few laps, but we are now 4 seconds away from Frodo behind us, which is absolutely ideal. What a place to park a Mercedes. Again though, it is much nicer to get away from Frodo behind us, because the dive bombs they were committing to was absolutely insane, and it could have really wrecked us both. Thankfully it didn't, and we are starting making grounds on the cars up in front. 5.2 seconds away, and we're already setting a much better lap this lap alone. Did take us a little bit of settling in period, pretty much 7 or 8 laps, till we start finding our feet a lot better. Thankfully, we are on our own. Yes, it would be nice to catch up to the cars in front. I don't think we're going to find 5 seconds in pretty much is 1 lap, but that's not the case. We're in position 5. First race at Bahrain in the BMW, and we're already in position 5. Frodo is down to position 8. Sophia and Bua has managed to overtake the car. Frodo is, oh no, now GZ has also overtaken Frodo, so not too sure what's going on back there. But we're setting our best lap time of a 2:04.024, which is not too bad for a first race here. Although the last lap wasn't as spectacular, it wasn't really about setting the fastest lap on the last lap. It was more about making sure I could bring it home. Sophia being 3.7 seconds away is still rather close. But before this race ends, the accidents that you see between other cars will be shown in the crash cam at the end of this video, so do not go away just yet, because we're going to head over to race 2, where we set a better pit time, starting off in position 8. We're going to have a better race overall. Frodo is not close to us. He's much further down the list. I think they're in position like 18 or 19, something like that. So we're not under fire from Dive Bomb Central. What we are going to do is back off a little bit earlier, create ourselves a little bit stale area as everybody pretty much bundles in for turn 1. Last thing we need is any damage. We need to make sure we can make it out the sides. There we go. Absolutely beautiful. Side by side with the McLarens to our right, which is Nikolaev, who, interestingly enough, is also going to be our nemesis, shall we say, for this race. But it ends quite spectacularly, so don't go away. Not as spectacular as what happens at Ford Mustang. Actually, do you know what? It's probably not far off it. Not far off it whatsoever. That's quite a lucky move from that Mercedes to our right-hand side. See Millie went for it, managed it with 0 contact, so credit where credit is due. Funny enough, you might notice a microphone on the camera. That's for this moment here. Things are going to be a little bit spicy at the beginning of this by the looks of it. Yeah, we have a live microphone going, so random stuff may be said during this race that randomly pops into the head of the person you see on screen. But accident happened with Choi up in front. Sorry about that, buddy. I was expecting you all to go a little bit quicker through that corner, and clearly you did not. Well, all 3 of you did not. The game really here is go and give it your all. We did the first race, we settled down, we understood the car, we understood the track, and we understood the drivers. This race here is about using everything we've learned to our ability and give it almost its all. We just need to try and get past Choi up in front, who's actually found a good bit of pace. They were leading the race. I'm not too sure what happened earlier on, but now they're down with us in position 5 and 6 respectively. What we don't need is to be settling down behind someone that's actually not at the same pace as ourselves, but ultimately a little bit slower, because we'll start breaking away from the cars up in front, and that is what's happening at the moment. Trying to overtake Choi up in front is harder than expected, because just can't seem to get into a position or set ourselves up for a position to overtake. But I think this might be the time. It might have sorted something out here. There we go. Look at that. Position has been gained. Now we need to find 3.5 and 3.0 almost seconds ahead to catch up to that pack of cars. Yep, over those few laps we were a second slower than everybody else, and at the beginning we was keeping up with them. So we've got to now start to reel them in, increase the lap times, or no, decrease the lap times is the word, not increase it. That's not the right way of going about it. And get away from Choi behind us, who I would say pretty much surrendered the position to us. You can see coming through that corner there how much better controlled this car really is, because we're not cooking up the front tires. I mean, to be fair, he is a bit quicker, so maybe I can use that to my advantage. I'm reeling the cars up in front. Great thinking, Flash. That is what we need to do. That's the thing with Leclerc. They have been reeling us in slowly. You can see Choi is all the way down in position 9. No idea what's happened over the course of a few laps, but Leclerc has been catching us up, and they are that little bit quicker. So instead of battling with them sololy, because we're only halfway through this race, let them past and use them to pull you along quicker. Try and close that door faster than the cars up in front. You know, it has taken a few laps, and we are now only 2 seconds away from that pack of cars up in front. We have only realistically gained about a second to a second and a half. If Leclerc can pull us along, we can close that door that little bit quicker. Not only that, when Leclerc actually starts battling with those cars up in front, that will also result in them being that little bit slower, thus providing us with the opportunity to be able to overtake both of them. And you can see that's pretty much what's happening now. A trio of cars are side by side with each other. That is not going to be fun for anybody. It's going to be slow, and we're right up behind them watching everything unfold, such as Leclerc being absolutely wrecked off the track. It's a position gained, not gonna lie, and it has closed the doors to the cars up in front. So we have Claymore and Nikolaev up ahead. two cars that have been neck and neck through this entire race. And we need to overtake them because we have Ferron behind us also wanted to get past. That is not ideal, Flash. That is not the way to do things, really. Let's be honest. So Ferron, come on, Ferron, pull us through, pull us back into the battle. Yes, we need the help because clearly we can't come out of the corner without upsetting the car. And you can see Ferron has made gains. I mean, this is coming up towards the end of lap 8, and they are battling side by side with Nikolav and almost Claymore they were friendly with. The way they're cornering at the moment, things like that, is only going to slow them down. They're heavily battling. Them slowing down, they're looking at what Ferron is doing and trying to claim that position back, not seeing our position. Hopefully, because if that's the case, we might be able to make a slingshot move here and claim that position from Nikolav up in front. The problem we have at the moment is we're about to start lap 9 of 10 lap race. If we're going to commit to something, we need to commit to it very, very quickly. Mill behind is 7.5 seconds away. Troy is 8 seconds away. We are not under attack from anybody behind, so we need to make sure we start attacking the cars up in front. And that is pretty much what happens. Lovely bit of overtaking there, Flash. Absolutely spot on. Saw the opportunity, capitalized upon it, and took it away from Nikolav behind. Thanks to the contact with Claymore up in front. Sadly, it didn't explode with said contact. You know, you think Claymores, you put your foot on them, boom. Nope, that one did not. Nikolav almost going to be able to capitalize on that terrible corner exit from ourselves, but using this vehicle as wide as a Boeing 747, we managed to pretty much close that door from any slingshot move there. Nice and tight over that curve, getting that power, Flash. Let's get going. Okay. Nikolav is not in a firing line for a slingshot move. This corner is kind of dicey. Got to get it just right. Nice and tight through there. Out the other side. Could be, again, a little bit quicker onto the throttle. Trust that car a little bit more. But Nikolav is at now 0.5 seconds away. Things do change, though. I mean, the Porsche is having Porsche moments. I don't know what they're doing. Latency. Either way. Claymore up in front is having a ping-related issue. Well spotted, Flash. Let's hopefully that ping-related issue doesn't destroy you in this race. Seen it happen before, don't want to be part of it. And by the time we start pretty much what's going to be our final lap, Claymore is defending, Nikolav is sending, and we're going to be stuck in the middle of this. Oh, whack. There we go, a little bit kiss up the rear. Don't get me wrong, it was a lovely dive bomb. And it was actually well controlled. It did upset Claymore, which has resulted in that position. We are now neck and neck with Nikolav. Sadly, Nikolav has got the bigger bottle and a bigger corner, so they were able to brake later, and we just couldn't get on that throttle quick enough because we was unsure where Nikolav was going. The Porsche is looking to make a move, and you can absolutely sod off because that is not going to happen. I am not losing 2 positions on a final lap. We're in position 5 and we want to get that position 4 away from Nikolav. Come on, Flash, don't overdrive that car too much. You don't want to roast up those front tires. We need to make sure we hit every corner perfectly and keep the pressure on Nikolav. And that is what's going to happen here. Nice and tight, sending it in. Zero contact on that throttle, nice and early. Stay committed, out the other side, away from Nikolav. Going to defend into this corner now. They are going to possibly do a switcheroo at the last second. We're not going to let that happen. There we go. Move over a little bit. Close that door from them thinking they can possibly make a move. Park it on the apex a little bit. Could have probably got the throttle a little bit quicker, but I wanted to create a bit of a bottleneck. And we do end up getting rear bumper damage. Sending us through this final few corners now. Down the second gear. Nice and tight. Kicking up a bit of dirt to the car behind. Flat out down here, going to move over to the right side, secure the defensive line. And then once Nikolav moves over a little bit to the left, we're going to also push it just a little tad over to the left. Down to second gear, and contact has been made while the Porsche sends it through and destroys the both of them behind us. That is the final corner I was saying about. It changes this whole race, and I can't believe how, you know, that little bit of contact had ended up like that. And as you can see, Nikolav is extremely happy by saying thank you to everybody. let's get into the crash cam.